post-game coverage of the Arkansas-Texas game, and I'll tell you this one, loss for words. Um, I will have some good things to talk about, that's for sure. Really like what we saw in the second half with our guy KJ Jackson, who came in 200 passing yards in the second half. Unreal. 16 to 29, one touchdown, averaging 7 yards a pass. Also on the ground, 4 carries, 17 yards, and an unbelievable rushing touchdown. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that as well. But as always, hop into the chat. Let us know your questions. Share your comments. Share your frustrations. I'm going to show a couple things as we talk about this film where it all fell off the rails for us. Taylen Green. I mean, something's going on, man. Or what are we dealing with? You know, I feel like there's something we're not sure about what's going on. Personal life, I can't call it, but what we just saw in that one play, I've never seen before in college football. I can't wrap my mind around what happened with this attempt that ended up leading into an interception, which ultimately got him benched. I think that's the last. How bad would this be for Taylen Green's career? I think that's the last play Taylen Green will have as an Arkansas Razorback. I'm serious. Unless they give him some sweet nod at home against Missouri, I just don't see it. I think we've seen enough on tape for this thing to get to a point to where KJ Jackson comes in, and I don't know how you don't start KJ Jackson after he comes in and did exactly what he did. All right. So, like what I like to do, I like to pop up the tape. Y'all, this is tough. And like I said, this is where the wheels fell off, and I'm trying to make sense of this, and this is hard. But watching this all unfold, the two-possession game, the announcer said he's trying to pitch this thing to Rohan Jones. I don't know what's going on. It looked to me like Rohan is trying to block. This looks like a run play all the way. I don't see a pass. I don't see a shovel. I mean, come on, what are we talking about? You got offensive linemen 3-4 yards down the field. There's no indication at all that this is a pass play. All right. And I could be wrong. Maybe the coach will explain it. I'm sure he'll be asked about it here in the post conference or press conference here in about 10, 15 minutes. But that almost looks like you got money on the line. I mean, I was like, is somebody like got somebody that KJ cares about? And he says, you better make this obvious or something. I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my mind around what was going on that play right there. Never seen anything like it. As soon as this happened, I remember we were watching it and we were just like, he's got to come out of the game. You know, a lot of people have been saying this, and we said, well, as soon as that happened, I said, coach needs to go grab him and say, Taylen, you're done for the rest of the day. Unexcusable. What happens right here? This is a decision, okay? Decision right here. Read option, not there. We've run this play so many times. So many times. It looks like everybody's blocking it up. Obviously, it looks like he'd like to get outside if that's where Rohan is blocking him. I've never seen anything like, oh my gosh. Wow. What is happening? I can't wait to hear that explanation. Wow. Wow. Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, he's got to go. Great kid. This is where you separate person from player. Got to go. You can't improvise and do something like that on the road in Texas. That's when the wheels fell off. Unbelievable, shocking. And the thing about it is, it kind of just keeps going. You see right here the conversation, and you see that look right there. That's when even KJ, I think KJ, as soon as he saw that, he was like, I better mentally start getting right. Coach Petrino was kind of pacing back and forth on the sideline right here. And one quick look. You see how I just paused that for a split second? That's all he needed. Boom, let's go. Let me go grab that helmet. Taylen, go get comfortable. And something happened right here that I'm not a big fan of. You see, they're going over the play. I already know what Coach Petrino is saying. He's trying to figure out what the hell is going on. What I don't like is the body language. And something happened after, they scored and came back out that this is what transpired. Actually, I'll wait for that in a moment, okay? No, I'll go ahead and bring it up right now. KJ starts the next series, and then the sideline reporter came out and said this.
Well, Tess, Taylon Green's been grimacing in some pain on the sidelines. He's been grabbing both his hamstrings, stretching them out. Meanwhile, Bobby Petrino let him have it. He said it was an easy catch and run. What were you thinking?
No. Y'all, I'm sorry on that one. Sometimes bad things happen. I get it, and then the make a decision like that and then come to the sideline and start grabbing the hamstring and acting like something. No. And I say, listen, I mean, these are grown men, but TG, if you're watching this, sometimes you just got to take it on the chin. Don't go to the sideline, start grabbing hamstrings and act like something's wrong. Athletes have all been there before. When something just drastic happens, something just that's not a good look. At this point, it is what it is. I lost my job. You need to go stand on the sideline and start rooting for your guy, okay? The attendants from the training staff, the attendants going to the tent. Then thing about it is some people may come in here and just say, you know what? That he heard it on the radio too. They mentioned hamstring pull. I just don't see it, man. And I feel injuries are a tricky thing. And if he is hurt, I apologize. The timing of this is just very suspicious in my opinion. So I do backtrack if he is actually hurt. But right, what this looks like in this moment, when your team needs you the most, for that to happen and just throw the ball up in the air, that's tough, y'all. That's a tough one. Let's get back to the film. And you talk about opportunities. The other thing about this, all the hype that Arch Manning got before the season started, now we're going to have to hear it again, okay? Because defensively, what is happening? I mean, it was just a very poor performance on defense. We had a little spurt, but we still had so many opportunities. You know what we like to do? We like to go back and watch the film and break everything down. I even hate that I'm doing this right now because I'm so emotionally compromised at the moment and kind of just not in a good space to do this fairly. So I apologize if I'm saying stuff and I didn't go back and watch the tape. I really encourage y'all to tune in Monday because stuff we've already seen, there'll be plenty to point out. But defensively, I could point out, I'm losing track of the plays. But once again, we made Arch Manning look like he is a Heisman candidate. I mean, I think he broke a school record. Who knows? But opportunities were there. How many times were we in these situations right here on third down? We get pressure, and we just can't finish the play. It happened all day long on big downs, making Arch Manning look like his, I guess, the DNA is fitting. And then he comes in here, throws the ball. Everybody goes wild. Everybody goes crazy. And then I'm looking at missed opportunities. What are we doing? I mean, you talk about being able to get back on the field in the red zone and having a game-changing, impactful play right there, and it just goes right through your hands. I mean, can we get a break? God! Y'all, it's tough to be a Razorback fan this year, ma'am. It is tough to be a Razorback fan. From that to we can just keep going all day. I see people in the comment, and so I'll go ahead and pull those up. I haven't even skimmed through them. I think y'all have every right to be a little upset right now. Actually, before we do that, I know what a lot of people want to do now. We want to move forward, okay? What's next year going to look like? Who's the coach going to be? What are your thoughts on this? There was something that did pop up here at the end of the game, and I'm very curious about your thoughts on this, okay? So Pete Thamel with ESPN apparently has a big-time update on the coaching search, okay? It came down to 4 names, all right? So this is probably what we're going to focus on because this film, it's going to be a tough watch, but we will do it, all right? So if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, make sure you tune in Monday. But here's what they had to say about the coaching search. Very interesting right here. All right, here we go.
Coaching search. What do you have, Pete Thamel?
Thanks, Joe. The latest on the Arkansas search today is it appears to be coming to a culmination in the near future. I've been told to expect some resolution in the upcoming days. And sources have told me there's 4 names that have been linked to this search the most. USF's Alex Golesh, Memphis's Ryan Silverfield, North Texas's Eric Morris, and Alabama defensive coordinator Kane Wong.
All right, so there you got 4 names that we came in. Silverfield over there at Memphis, Golish at South Florida, Eric Morris at North Texas, and Womack at Alabama. The defensive coordinator has ties, played at Arkansas. So that's what Pete Thamel is saying. Now, I don't know what he knows, but for them to hop on there on the national stage, I know they do their research. I know they got their sources. They have all that. Another name that I was kind of surprised I didn't hear since he was in Fayetteville, flown in for an interview. Maybe the interview didn't go well. Gus Malzahn, a lot of people talking about that. And all that made me feel, if this is anywhere somewhat in the truth, the realm of possibility, you didn't hear the name Bobby Petrino. All right. So it is what it is. I know a lot of fans want to see what a whole year looks like with players and support, but I mean, once again, it's just tough. But I will say this, and I was so shocked. There's a few times last year and even this year that I felt with the momentum of the game and what was happening offensively that I was like, I'm surprised Coach Petrino has not made a move. This has happened before. Even if he is his guy, he needs to be a little bit more game awareness and say, Taylor, you need to come sit down. All right. I think there's a handful of times that has been the case this year. And we really didn't know what was on the bench. KJ comes in a situation, like I said, throws for 200 yards, had a really good run. Now, what does a whole game plan look like? I don't know. Were there a bunch of plays I can look at his pass attempts that potentially could have been interceptions? No doubt. But he got out there and balled out. Think about it, too. I doubt he was in that situation going into that game. The way things were moving offensively, especially in the first quarter, he was thinking, okay, I need to lock in for this game. He was probably settling in, just ready to go ahead and see what Taylor was going to do the rest of the day. Then a quick change of pace. Hey, let's go get him. And so I'd be very curious to see what a whole week of preparation looks like. And this is where it's funny because I know they got a great relationship, Taylor and Coach Petrino. And I know in Coach Petrino's mind, he's going to have to make the decision for Taylor's last game as an Arkansas Razorback. Am I not going to let him step on the field and take a snap? Whoo! That's where personal relationships and business approach, that's where we meet. Because I think based off what we just saw, only winning 2 games this year, performances in the SEC, so many games where Taylor has made costly decisions to keep us from having an opportunity to win the football game. I think if he puts Taylor in, especially starts, then I don't think that's doing it the right way as a football coach. You have to put those personal things aside, and you have to do what is best for the team. And what's best for the team is making sure when you promise these players, when your opportunity comes, I'm going to make sure that you have a chance to take advantage of it. And I think KJ in this instance, based off Taylor's performance and based what he did in the second half against Texas, he has earned the opportunity to start next Saturday. So if it doesn't happen, I think that would be messed up. Now, I think we could see Taylor, if KJ gets in, and immediately just starts struggling, okay? So the ball's in KJ's court now. Then you get to this point. If KJ ends up being a real big-time football player, what are the chances we can keep him? That's where this portal thing gets wild. The coaching church is going to get wild. I mean, it's just that's almost like a little tease. If we saw a little tease of what he could be, give him a whole week prepping, knowing he's going to be the starter, and he ends up being a really good quarterback, I would be shocked if he's here next year. I really would. Nah, that's just part of football. That's what it is. Yeah. I see some people in the comments right now. I'll go ahead and start addressing some of those here shortly. Grant was going to hang out with me, but he didn't get a chance. We were in Bentonville doing our pregame show 3 hours ago, and we drove down immediately. We got some stuff to do back here in Little Rock. That's why I'm here. And so Grant may join us. Oh, man. It's tough, y'all. All right. Let's go through a few of these comments. Let's see what some people are saying. I want to make sure I don't miss any things real quick. Wow. I must have been talking a long time. That is over 300 to 400 comments. Okay, I'll try my best, all right? Or I may just leave this open and let y'all vent for a little bit. everybody's just talking about the game. And that is funny. They just have to watch. They just have too much money wrapped up in TG. That's another thing a lot of people thought. Do you put $1 million+ on the bench? Yes. That's just the name of the business. If he's not performing and he's not doing what he's supposed to do, you put the $1 million something on the bench and say, that sucks. That's just part of football. If you're keeping people out there just because you paid them, that ain't right, man. I don't think that's doing a service to players on the team. Appreciate you, Nathan Scott, for becoming a member. And I will say this, too. This season has been very fast and a lot going on. One more game left, and then we're going to finish up these high school football playoffs. We're going to have some really cool stuff for our members, okay? I promise you that. Y'all stay tuned for that. Some exclusive stuff. Most of everything we do, the breakdowns, the coverage, all that stuff will remain free. I'm a big advocate of that, of making sure this stays free for y'all. But the stuff that I think is probably not best suited for this space, our members are going to get some pretty cool stuff. People coming in the comments right here. Let me go through all this. They say no to Womack. And then we got Chris Caver says Womack is awful. What do y'all know that I don't know? I haven't really looked into much about Womack over there at Alabama. Once again, was brought up in conversation at the end of that game. Pete Thamel was saying that Eric Morris, Ryan Silverfield, Alex Golish, and Womack were the 4 people in the mix for a job. And he said it was going to happen soon, within a couple days. Now, I don't know what he knows. That's just what he's saying, because I know a lot of people are saying a whole bunch of other things. But out of those 4 names, if that is what we have on the table and what we're picking from, who do y'all think should be the next head coach at the University of Arkansas? Chris, I already know you're going to say Coach Petrino, all right? So I'm just saying, based off what the person said on ESPN, if that is somewhat true, and that's the 4 we got, who you got, all right? Womack, the defensive coordinator at Bama. Once again, head coach over there at Memphis and Silverfield. Alex Golish, UCF, wife from Greenwood, Arkansas. Then Eric Morris at North Texas. We got people saying Golish or Silverfield would be my pick. Ron Watt says Golish would be fine. Roger says none of them. Roger's not going to happen. All right, just play the game with me. All right, we only get 4, Raj. No on Silverfield. We get Golish here. Steve-O doesn't want any of them. Bobby Petrino better than all of them. Give him another year to clean it up. A lot of people feel that way, and a lot of people think that would be fair. Whomever is the best recruiter, I would say also whoever brings in the most money. It's just the name of this game nowadays. I got a lot of people in where's my 4th and 5 crew? How's everybody got time to text, but they can't hop on here for the post-game show? You know, what are we doing, right? It's all good. We got Scott saying Coach P, get him a DC. Once again, if you're just now joining us, very disappointing loss. Arkansas dropping to Texas. Big shout-out for KJ coming in, making it competitive at the end. But, yeah, Taylon Green, once again, the most bizarre interception I have ever seen. I bet the press conference is going on right now. And so I'll wait and listen to that. I encourage y'all to probably go over there. They'll probably post that after they get out of the press conference, unless they have something live going on. They'll probably get that up here in about 5 minutes maybe. So I'll wrap this up so y'all have a chance to go check that out. But, yeah, Taylon Green with one of the most bizarre interceptions. You hear the reporter saying that he's dealing with some hamstring issues after that. I think that's a bad, bad look. You got to be real careful when you're in this world of doing the media and you're accusing people of not really being hurt. Oh, Lord, I just thought about something. I don't know if I want to stir this pot. God, I ain't got time to hear from this dude daddy again. All right, speaking of injuries, what we got going on with Braylon Russell right now? Braylon Russell ain't going to be here next year, right? Am I the only one? All right. And the only reason I'm saying where's Braylon Russell, because I would love to see him. I really would. We heard Coach Petrino say that he got hurt in a walkthrough scenario at practice. He said he bumped into his fullback, and he's been on concussion protocol for the past 2 weeks. Woo-wee. I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see what's going on. And hey, look, if he is hurt, hey, be healthy, do fine, do what's best for you. You know, you're your own people. Mr. Russell, I'm not trying to stir the pot. I just want to see your son on the football field. Once again, concussion protocol, do your thing. Like, I got somebody trying to put hands on me again. You know, I'm not trying to do all that. Oh, Lord. Somebody says, can you fake a concussion? I don't know. Oh no, Bull and Malarkey. I done did it, y'all. I done did it. All right. I will say, look, when Russell's on and he's given the opportunities, I'll say this: he's a good addition to this football team. All right, I will say that, and I hope it works out for him wherever he goes. As far as his thought process next year, because I like the kid and I want to see him as a Razorback. Y'all saw his dad get after me, and he says, "Mom, my baby a Razorback. He a hog and he's proud." I hope we can stand on that. All right, I'm vying for him. I ain't trying to be talking no bull and malarkey. He may not like me. I actually want to be friends with Braylon Russell's dad. I think he'd be a fun dude to hang out with. Could you imagine him on our show doing a post game? Oh my gosh. It would be insane. I'm not a doctor, Chase. I'm not a doctor, okay? I don't know. Team Pig Protocol, act like you don't know where you are. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not going to keep you long. Somebody's saying that Shaq McCroy and Russell, my clicker's not working. I'm trying to pull these comments up. I'm sorry. There we go. Somebody's saying that Shaq McCroy and Russell are gone. Gary Davis, do you know that, or are you just assuming? All right. If you're going to be one of my inside sources, I need to know you know it. I think KJ will be a great quarterback. I hope he gets the ball out of his hand a lot faster than Talon. And that's another thing. When I go back and look at it, still a few more of these plays, Talon could have got the ball out a lot earlier. There was a third down that he missed to Raylan Sharp again. The commentator said that's the disadvantage of having a shorter guy and you don't have a big catch radius. But I'm thinking if you get that ball out on time and put it on the money, you're good to go. Look who it is. Grant Cook, what's going on, man? Shown but not. Hold on one second. Can't. There you are. Big dog.
You got me?
That game, man. That was a tough one, man. Hold on. You may have an echo. Let me get that fixed real quick. 1 second. Apologize. Wasn't. All right, now we're good. Grant, what's up, man? Thoughts about that game?
I was watching on my way back. Yeah. Started out promising. Just kind of fell apart on us, man.
What were you thinking the moment when Talon did whatever he did?
I almost wonder if, like basketball changed forever when Steph Curry started jacking threes from all over the place. Like, all of the kids in America wanted to shoot threes all of a sudden. I wonder if Patrick Mahomes is having the same effect on quarterbacks. That looked like, and he's successful at it, but that was, it seems like Talon still has not figured out how to just move on to the next play. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's like he's trying to make something happen all the time, man. And that forcing throws or doing something like that, like, you just got to understand as a quarterback, sometimes a lost yardage play is the best of bad options. Instead of doing something like he was doing. And I need to go back and look at the actual, like, slow-mo of that. Like, he's going to throw it. Did he? I don't know. But
well, Grant, I'm glad you asked because you know me. I have it on standby. Hey, you're going to go down for a second, but stay with me, all right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Let me pull that back up again, and let me get Grant back in here. Uh-oh, I don't see it. You still here, huh? Grant, can you hear me? Hold on 1 second. Let's try that one more time. I'm trying to pull that play up for you so you can take a. Oh Lord, now it
You hear
doesn't want
me?
to work. Yeah, I can hear you. Having some issues with this being pulled up. Oh no. All right, now let's try it. Let's get Grant out of here. Screen share, maybe. Nice.
Here we go.
All right, we're back, big dog. All right, so here's the play that you're talking about at hand. So remember when we were curious? God, what game was it? It was the Memphis game. Dang, I don't mean to bring this up, Mr. Russell, but we were trying to figure out if Braylon was going the wrong way or not. You remember that?
Yep.
I'm just bringing that up because what the tight ends are doing and what everyone else is doing, this looks to be the exact same play. Okay. So I would say, based off everything I've seen, run all the way. All right. So let's go ahead and press play here. Talon comes off and
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, the commentator said he's trying to dump this off to Rohan Jones. Rohan Jones is not an option on the. I don't even think throwing the ball on this play is an option. Look at Carmona.
Yeah, looking at what I'm looking at right here, he knew he was about to get hit, and it was going to be no gain or loss. And he saw Rohan standing there, and it looked like he just tried to dump it off to him to try to get something. And instead, this ball goes 10 yards, and
I mean, oh, that's
Go.
tough, man. I've never.
Now, I will say this. If that is a run, Rohan,
Yeah.
get involved.
First of all,
man.
Rohan, start blocking. All right. First of all.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
Yeah.
we're gonna do our part. We're gonna get into our breakdowns later in the week. But Grant, it's just I'm shocked. I mean, I remember one time in high school, I got tackled short of a first down, and I tried to look back and see if I could toss it back to someone. And even when I did that, I was like, why did I do that? Like, I'm about to get chewed out by my coach. And it wasn't even a turnover. All right. That's just short. And I was thinking that was so stupid. I cannot imagine someone in Coach Petrino's offense who would think to try to pull that off. That's wild.
Now, I will say this. If it worked, everybody's going to – that's the smartest play I've ever seen a quarterback make. But it didn't work.
Oh, man, that's tough. We can go ahead and get back to some of these comments. Fans, KJ Jackson, 200 yards. You sent us a text saying, I hope he sticks around. I mean, yeah, there you are. Tough thing moving forward about who's going to be here next year, who's not. I think we start having those conversations now. But thoughts on his performance? There were still some things I think he could have brushed up on, but overall, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, kid. Came in. I think he out threw Talon. They both essentially got a half, and I think he had more passing yards than Talon did. Looked really impressive on that run for the touchdown. Really headsy play. I mean, he's a left-handed quarterback, has the ball in his left hand, pump fakes with his right hand, doesn't even have the ball in that hand, gets a dude to jump, cuts inside of him, goes and scores a touchdown. Yeah, super talented, fun, maybe quarterback for the future.
Maybe.
If you can keep a guy around. That is the name of the game.
Let's keep it with what we do know. Future as in next week. I don't know if you heard this before you got on, and I said
I heard you talking.
After that, I think that may have been the last play we've seen from Talon Green.
I would agree. The only thing I'll say, it is senior night. And I'm telling you, I think you probably start Talon at least the first series, or he's playing at least a play. I'm telling you.
God, you have to, right? The start though would be, ooh. I mean, what's your goal to win the? I mean,
I agree.
You know, I mean, but I guess, at this point, season, what you're going to try to get your third win for the year? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, halfway to bowl eligibility.
Look at this. Kane Archer decommitted to UCF. I know one thing. Kane Archer
And
wants to
Archer's
be
not throwing that ball.
no shot. I know Kane Archer wants to be a Razorback. I do know that. And so now
Yeah.
that he's decommitted from UCF, take that. All right.
You want to talk
So,
about a guy? You want to talk about a guy in a Coach Petrino style offense that will make the right read and the right decision
yeah.
99.9% of the time? That would be a guy like Kane Archer.
Well, the thing, whoever comes here, right? And whoever our next. Did you see the soundbite I put up of the Pete Thamel who talked about
Yeah.
who the 4 coaches are? And a name that pops up is Golish.
Yep.
And when I think about him, I think of a perfect quarterback for his system would be someone like a Kane Archer. And we know that Golish has extremely strong ties in what town in Arkansas? Greenwood.
Greenwood, Arkansas.
Wife, born and raised. All right.
I will say the quarterback they have at USF right now, though, looks like a KJ Jackson type quarterback. He's a mobile guy.
Well, you got to think Kane Archer, 100 passing touchdowns and 50 rushing touchdowns this year. And so he is that dual threat quarter. Yeah. Wrap that around your brain for a second.
Accounted for 150 touchdowns this year.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. So, and he is an extremely good runner, so he has that dual threat capability. And I could definitely see, let's just for argument's sake, if Golish is being really considered in this and maybe they got something worked out, I could definitely see him saying, Kane, I need you to go ahead and get ready to come on over. You're going to be my guy. I could for sure see that happening. That'd be pretty wild. And not even Kane. I'm trying to think other quarterbacks that kind of fit that mold of what he would like. I don't think so much of Silverfield, run first guy. Eric Morris, I would say more of a traditional thrower, the Patrick Mahomes type style. And then you have Womack over there at, the defensive guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just looked that up, by the way. So several outlets.
Correct.
KW homepage, On3 from MSN, a bunch of people an hour ago. Kane Archer decommits from UCF.
Yeah. So everybody's saying stop. I mean, it'd be wild. Ron Watt wants to know. Yeah, his wife is from Greenwood. And that's the thing. It's easy to get in this. And look, all this is unproven. Mitch Mustang, same type of hype. Didn't really work out. And then you have some that hit. And from what we've seen and even talking, I mean, Kane does seem like a really good option of what to potentially build a program around. Now, this isn't a quick fix. This isn't, a guy we think can come in and win 10 games next year. It is a process, and I would hope that he and everybody involved in his family understand this is an extremely competitive conference, all right? The one thing, though, he ain't trying to hear that because the guy has not lost a high school football game ever, all right? So he does not – he's unfamiliar with losing, okay? And but just being realistic, coming into this, that's something you have to learn how to adjust to. That just takes you to the next element of your game. How can you handle losing? Let's figure that out. How can you handle not being the best player on the field at all times, but knowing that you have the potential to get there? All right. And so, but I do think he is someone that if you give him that type of opportunity, you have a really good shot at building a program around. And if he's a bust, he's a bust, But for me, I'm okay rolling dice on kids right here in your own backyard. I mean, we've talked about that. Tim Horton had a conversation with Wes Moore the other day, and Tim Horton echoed the same thing. He's like, I really feel like what Arkansas is missing are these guys that are leaving the state. And he says some of them, they may not be highly touted. They may not be, ranked here or there, but you can't let them leave. All right.
Well, they think about that. I mean, let's just pause right there for 2 seconds and look at the top 5, top 6, top 7 players in the state. They're not going to Middle Tennessee or, Southern Miss. They're not going to Sunbelt schools. They're going to highly competitive programs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's my thing, man, is like, it's not like the top 5 to 7 kids in the state of Arkansas every year are good enough to play at Arkansas in 90% of the years, right? I mean, maybe not every year, but there's kids that are good enough to play at Arkansas, and we've talked about it before. You and I are from Arkansas. We can speak to this personally. If you're from Texas or you're from Louisiana or Oklahoma or Florida or wherever else you come from, you come to Arkansas, especially in nowadays, I can't speak to it from the perspective of being able to transfer whenever I want to wherever I want with no penalty whatsoever. But back in the day, it meant more to the kids that were from Arkansas that grew up watching the Razorbacks and are representing their actual state than it did to some of the other kids. I'm not saying that the other kids didn't care. What I'm saying is there's maybe just this much more that it means to the kids from Arkansas when they're playing for Arkansas. And we've got to get back there, man. I mean, you've talked to Evan, you've talked to Beal, you've talked to Kane, you've talked to both the kids at Bryant, you've talked to all the kid from Central, all of them that's the top 5, top 7 that are going. I mean, they're all going to schools that are going to go compete on the national stage. That they're going to go to schools that can lose 1 or 2 games and still get in the playoffs. They're not going to these schools that have to be perfect to get into the playoffs. I mean, so these schools are competing, and that means that those schools believe that these guys can play. So what are we doing?
Yeah. No, I get it, man. And yes, I'm on that bus, and I try not to go down it because I feel like we can't help but be a little biased just because of how, where we're from. But yeah, I mean, but we've seen it also work at an extremely high level. And we've seen when you don't have that a part of this program, how the direction that the program has went. So it's a little bit of bias, but it's also when you look at it. Thanks for the super chat right here. Take a look at Zane Widener, class of 2024, big miss. Okay, I'll go ahead and take a look. What school was that from? Let me know. Somebody says we rolled out on the dice thing, dude. I just think we've been rolling for the wrong guys. That's just my personal opinion. Another name right here, Enoch Hassan. Man, I hate that Greenbrier loss, but I also am a big fan of Lakeside as well. It's just I really like the story of Enoch, undersized kid. I really like this dude, and he brought up a good point. He is undersized, but so is Dennis Johnson. And I'm telling you, the way that this kid hits the hole, he is Dennis Johnson, but a little bit quicker with his burst. And he's strong, he's compact, and when people hit him, they're like, ooh. And the wild thing for me is I've seen it work for a guy like Dennis Johnson and how impactful he was as a Razorback, and he's from Arkansas. And we got Dennis 2.0 in Greenbrier, Arkansas, and we're not even interested. Not even a knock on the door, that's tough. And that's what I mean by roll the dice. I don't think rolling the dice is on a 6'8", 360-pound offensive lineman who's athletic. That's not much of a gamble. Okay, that's looking at, okay, I feel good about that. Rolling the dice are on these guys where people are like, ooh, same thing with Kane Archer. I mean, I get he has the numbers and all that stuff, but he doesn't have a big arm, and he knows it. That's why he focused and crafted his skills on what he is good at, and he's one of the best in the country at it. The numbers don't lie. He set a completion percentage record of all time in high school football. Anybody who has played high school football, he sits at the top.
The crazy stat to me was what he has more touchdown passes than he has incompletions.
Yeah, he had more touchdown passes than incompletions. Insane.
That's a crazy stat.
I got a lot of people, and these are all guys that have been our Ortho Arkansas Players of the Week. You brought up Nikel Lewis over there at Hamburg. I think right now he is number 5 in the country at scoring right here in our backyard. Same deal, a little undersized, but a football player. Strong, physical. Enoch is a senior. We'll find out where he's going. Somebody just asked that. But we can talk about this all day, Grant. Disappointing loss. We'll be up, primed and ready all week with the breakdowns, the coverage. I know you watched the game. I'm sure we'll talk about up front. I am very curious to see and your thoughts about our offensive production up front, because Texas had some dudes, and I'm curious to see how we panned out. Also, don't forget, Monday is when we're all going to come again. We'll get a little bit better grasp on this coaching search. I mean, if that guy from ESPN, Pete Thamel, is anywhere in the ballpark of being right, there's a good chance we'll know who that is. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll have the conversations about it. That'll be at Oaklawn. So if you are in Hot Springs or anywhere close and you want to hang out, it's such a cool vibe. I'm there every Monday night. During football season, I start a little earlier, so it may be tricky for you to get there, but it's at 5:30. We hang out. We do our show there. I have to do it there because we need to be done before Monday Night Football starts. But the thing is, stick around and hang out at the Mainline Sports Bar to watch some Monday Night Football. And so we got a couple more weeks of that. We'll do that through the end of the year. And then we're going to have everything as far as Grant's breakdown. We got viewer comments Wednesday. I bet that'll be a good one. I would assume we're going to hear something by then. Be wild if we didn't. Then we got Thursday, Friday as always, and then Saturday we got our last pregame show of the year. We're going to be at the Alumni House to wrap up this season of 4th and 5. It's been fun. It's been a really good ride, and we have a lot of fun. We got one more chance for someone to win $100 if they can beat Grant Cook in a Bag-O game at the Alumni House. We already know the time of the game, Grant. It's at 2:30 kickoff, so that means our pregame show will be at 12:30. So if you want to just come hang out, be a part of the show, we can drag somebody over there, put you on the desk, and see how well you do on the screen. I just like hanging out and meeting our people. So if you're in the area and you want to come hang out, it's free to get up there 2 hours before kickoff at the Alumni House right across the street from Razorback Stadium.
That's a big week for me, DJ and Bag-O. I mean, I get back to 500, you know, and so I'm really focused on that. We've been rehabbing. You know, we've been really focused on the right distances and the right trajectories. And so I think coming into this next week that we're going to have a really good opportunity to get back to 500. And then coming into next year, we're going to put a lot of work in this offseason. We're going to have a whole summer of playing Bag-O to kick this thing off in September. We're gonna put in we're gonna get some good timing in camp. And you know, I think be really zeroed in coming in September for another season. We're going to have, you know, at least 6, maybe 7 opportunities for me to whip up on everybody that loves 4th and 5 and wants to have a chance to play me in Bag-O. So all home games, alumni, the Alumni Association building, come up there. You can start as early as next Saturday. Come give it a shot. We'll pull your name out of the hat, but next year's I'm gonna be a beast out there. So,
all right, how about this? I got this for you: $100 if they beat you, that I have to pay them. Okay, you see, Guatney says he'll be there for a rematch. Okay, $100 if they beat you, and I'll do my part. I'm gonna order some custom Razorback Bag-O boards, the real ones, and the whole 4th and 5 crew can sign it, except Matt because he can't be down here.
We'll forge a signature. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll forge it for you. It'll be fine.
There you go.
Sounds like a plan, huh?
Yeah.
But you only get one board. We have our car's too packed already. We can barely fit anything in there as is because we got a whole crew set up. All right, so one board, not 2. All right, Grant, I appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Yeah, tough loss, but we'll be at it.
All right, man. Go Hogs, always.